Okay, I'm going to quickly tell the story of how I found my cancer. And the reason I want to do this is because there is someone out there who has had something out of the ordinary going on with their body. Maybe you have been to the doctor and the doctor has given you a diagnosis that you don't really feel comfortable with. You feel like that's probably not what's going on, and maybe there's something deeper there and you're not really able to get to the root of what's going on and you're feeling frustrated. That is exactly what happened to me. And so I just kind of want to give you a little bit of background, and hopefully this will help you push forward and figure out what is truly going on. So I started having back pain at the beginning of 2020. It was kind of random throughout my back. It would be in different places. I don't know if the cancer was there yet. I don't really know when the cancer popped up. It was growing pretty quickly, but it was actually a huge tumor. And so I'm not really sure when it started growing. But at the beginning of 2020, I started having back pain. And I started going to the chiropractor. And I would get adjustments and it would be better for a few days and then it would hurt again. So that kind of continued throughout the next year and a half, close to 2 years. At that point, I got on the roof of our chicken coop and I was screwing some tin down up there, and I was in a very awkward position for about 2 hours. When I got off the roof, something popped in my back. I felt it. I felt back there. I could feel a hump, and I went and looked in the mirror and I could see it. And I was like, what in the world did I just do to myself? So the way that my oncologist explained this is that my tumor was probably under muscle and connective tissue. And that whenever I was in that awkward position, those things kind of shifted and the tumor was able to pop to the surface. So if that hadn't happened, I don't know how long it would have been before I figured out that I had a tumor there. So that happened. I started going to different doctors. They were telling me that I had scoliosis, that I had a rib popped out. I went to the Texas Back Institute. They told me that I had a rib popped out, I needed a steroid shot, and I did not need any further testing. So thank God I did not listen to them. I knew that there was something bigger wrong. You know, with having just a little bit of medical background, I knew scoliosis does not pop up like that. There's no way I got on the roof of the chicken coop without scoliosis and got off the roof with scoliosis. That's not how it works. Scoliosis is something that develops slowly over time. It doesn't develop like that. So it took me months and months of going to all these different doctors, and finally a doctor was like, hey, look, there is something weird going on here. And I was like, I know, tell me about it. Like, I was in a lot of pain. My back was swelling. It didn't really fit with any like certain diagnosis. It just didn't really fit into a box that these doctors were trying to make it fit into. And so finally I had an MRI done. There was a mass there. I got a biopsy, and that's how I got my diagnosis. Ultimately, I'm making this video because you know your body more than anyone else does. You know your body better than any doctor does. You know your doctor better than anyone else. People told me, oh, you're getting close to 30, you're gonna have back pain. That's just what happens when you turn 30. And I was like, no, I'm healthy, I'm fit. Like, that does not make any logical sense to me. And so I kept pushing to try to find answers. So like one of my physical therapists told me, who really did save my life, do not allow the medical system to put you in a box and say, if you don't fit in this box, I can't help you. If you know that something is wrong with your body, you have to continue fighting for yourself, because you are your biggest advocate and no one is going to fight for you harder than you will. So you have to continue pushing until you find the root of what's really going on. And if you know that there's more to the story, don't let them push you off. So that is just my advice to you. If you have any questions, please ask. I would be willing to answer anything that I can to help you. And I hope that this helps someone.